The name of the movie is From Puddles to Passports, Why Place Names Lie to Us.
If you live in a place, grammar rules generally dictate what you're called. Add a simple suffix to the end of your country's name and you're set. People from Panama are Panamanians. This rule is so ingrained, we even apply it to places where nobody lives. In science fiction, theoretical inhabitants of the moon are dubbed lunarians, or sometimes Selenites, named after the Greek goddess of the moon. Back on Earth, the map is full of anomalies that shatter these standard naming conventions. Take Monaco. You won't find any Monacoans walking these streets. The locals are known as the Monegasque. Zoom in closer, and the labels get even weirder. A resident of Moose Jaw, Canada, is a Moose Javian. Someone from Medicine Hat is a Hatter. And if you live in Wolfsburg, Germany, you are officially a Wolfsburger. So why is our geography littered with these linguistic mismatches? To figure out why the names of a people often divorce entirely from the names on their map, we have to look closely at local history. The study of place names is called toponymy. When you look through that lens, you realize many strange local identifiers, officially called demonyms, are actually linguistic ghosts. They are remnants of a forgotten past that locals simply refuse to give up. Manchester in the UK is a perfect case study. Looking at the word itself, you might expect its citizens to be called Manchesterites. Instead, they go by Mancunians. That leap in logic only makes sense when you dig into the dirt. The city's name evolved over centuries of different rulers, but the people kept the original Roman identifier for the settlement, Mancunium. Other times, a strange name is born purely by accident. Locals invent a word because it sounds right in conversation, and through sheer repetition, a process linguists call backformation, it becomes official canon. Just down the road from Manchester, the citizens of Liverpool eventually became known as Liverpudlians. It started as a playful joke, combining the city's name with the word puddle and the local scouse stew, until the nickname permanently stuck. At the micro level, civic identity is forged by inside jokes, local slang, and stubborn history, rather than rigid grammar textbooks. That stubbornness is especially visible when English colonial naming rules collide directly with indigenous languages. When that happens, the native linguistic rules often survive and win out. You can see this clearly in Madagascar. The people living there are known as Malagasy. This identifier for both the people and their language entirely predates the French naming of the island, surviving intact to this day. But what happens when an organic, linguistic mess gets a little too confusing? Occasionally, a government gets tired of the debate and decides to step in with top-down authority. In the United States, Indiana faced this exact problem. Locals had been using the slang term Hoosier for decades, though nobody could agree if it came from a contractor's name or the greeting, "Who's here?" Eventually, the government officially adopted it to settle the matter. That decree in Indiana represents a critical shift. It is the exact moment a name transforms from an organic piece of local slang into a deliberate, formalized political tool. On the global stage, those political tools carry real weight. Whole countries frequently deploy top-down mandates to legally alter their identity, rewrite their borders, and manage their international branding. This vintage map of the Netherlands shows the exact problem the country wanted to fix. The Dutch government officially killed off the shorthand name Holland. While used everywhere, it actually only refers to 2 of the country's 12 provinces, making it geographically inaccurate. Other times, a rebrand is about solving an administrative headache. In 2018, King Mswati III officially changed his country's name from Swaziland to Eswatini, simply to stop it from being alphabetically confused with Switzerland on international documents. In 2022, the government in Ankara requested that the UN officially recognize the country as Türkiye. They wanted to permanently distance the nation from the English word for the bird, as well as its slang association with being a failure. At the United Nations level, a demonym functions as a nation's premier marketing asset and a vital political shield. The highest stakes of naming involve the legal erasure of a colonial past to reclaim a true cultural endonym, a name created by the people who actually live there. In 1935, the government requested that foreign delegates stop using the Western-imposed Persia and instead use the local term, Iran. Decades later, in 1972, the island known internationally by its colonial-era title, Ceylon, transitioned to Sri Lanka to officially reflect its Sinhalese heritage. These changes often carry severe geopolitical friction. When the ruling military junta changed the name of Burma to Myanmar in 1989, it caused a massive split. Today, international bodies like the UN use Myanmar, while certain political groups stubbornly hold on to Burma. Names are the living records of a culture's trajectory. Whether it is a centuries-old Roman ghost word, a local joke about a puddle, or a UN-mandated act of decolonization, the titles we use are the ultimate reflection of who we are and who we want to be.